Black Christmas is the story of a group of sorority girls who are preparing for winter break, but then start to receive obscene phone calls from an anonymous killer who has snuck into their house. And when one of their sisters disappears, the rest of the girls contact the police, who begin a manhunt to try to track the killer down as the body count starts to rack up.
What's wrong?
The caller is in the house. The calls are coming from the house.
Black Christmas debuted in 1974 and is one that doesn't get a lot of mainstream recognition, but it's one of those seminal films that influenced a lot of flicks in the genre that followed it, namely When a Stranger Calls, Halloween, and Friday the 13th. And though it wasn't well received upon its arrival, it's one of those films that has gotten a lot of reappraisal over the recent years, so it's nice to see this movie finally getting its flowers. And in Black Christmas, there are a total of 6 kills, 5 committed by Billy. Now, one kill you won't see on here is the character of Janice. Though her body is discovered in the film and Billy is believed to be the killer, she is a character we never see. I mean, as a matter of fact, we never see her body. And it's unclear whether her death happens within the confines of the film or not, so she is going to be left out of this ranking. Now, I'm not going to go over the rules, we all know them by now, so without further ado, let's jump in to this ranking.
Ho, 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 shit.
Coming in at number 6 is the killing of Officer Jennings.
See the car outside? We've got one of our men in it, so you've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, sure.
So right around the halfway point of this movie, the police arrived at a sorority house to follow up on their earlier reports of obscene phone calls. And Officer Jennings here has been posted outside in an unmarked car to watch over said house. So later on during the climax, when the police figure out that the calls are coming from inside the house, they attempt to relay that information to Jennings. But oops, Jennings can't come to the phone right now because he's dead.
Oh, shit.
Now this kill is last because not only did this kill happen off screen, but it happens to a tertiary character who has almost no screen time beforehand. In fact, I think this is it. So poor Officer Jennings, we hardly knew ye, but thanks for showing up at least. Coming in at number 5 is the killing of Jess's boyfriend, Peter. Peter here hits a string of bad luck and is kinda going through some shit. First he finds out that him and Jess are pregnant. Then he botches his piano recital. And then later on, he tells Jess that he wants to marry her, except she doesn't feel the same way.
Peter, I don't want to marry you.
And the final straw comes when he asks about the child, and she tells him she wants to abort it. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude just can't catch a break.
You selfish bitch.
Well, getting avalanched with all that shit causes Peter to more or less snap, and for the rest of the movie he's seen suspiciously lurking around the sorority house. So fast forward to the climax where Jess is being attacked by the killer, who chases her down into the basement where she ends up barricading herself in. It's shortly after that Peter decides to show back up at a suspiciously coincidental time and break back into the house, finding Jess hiding in the basement. So Jess naturally mistakes Peter to be the killer and beats him to death with a fire poker. But, I mean, that happens all off screen, as his body is discovered with hers by the police moments later. But this kill is second to last because it largely could have been avoided. Had he not snapped and started acting like a psycho and also not broken back into the house, Peter would probably still be alive. So his death is more or less his own doing. But blame can also be placed here a little bit on Jess too. I mean, she did beat an innocent man to death without even so much as a verbal threat to him to back off. But given the situation she was in also, I can kinda understand. But yeah, sorry Peter, your kill is second to last.
I just died on your arms tonight.
Coming in at number 4 is the killing of Phyllis. So by this point in the movie, Phyllis and Jess are the final 2 girls alive at the sorority, so they start locking up doors and windows and securing the house. But when the open door to Barb's room suddenly closes, Phil here decides to go check it out. And when she enters the room, she is surprised by something behind the door and the door slams shut. So fast forward a little bit, after Jess is told by one of the officers that the obscene phone calls are coming from inside the house, she realizes that she hasn't seen her friend Phyllis in a little while. So she goes upstairs to find her and also check Barb's room. And when she does, she finds both Barb and Phyllis stabbed to death. Well, I'm kind of being liberal here because Barb is the only one we know is confirmed to be stabbed to death, while Phyllis, well, we actually don't know how she was killed since it happened off screen. But she's got blood on her, so even though the cause of death is unknown, I'll make a reasonable assumption that she was stabbed to death as well. So that means kicking off my top 3 is the killing of Mrs. McHenry.
God damn it, Claude, I'm gonna have you fixed.
Now, Mrs. McHenry here is the house mom and resident lush, who has been assisting Mr. Harrison look for his daughter Claire, who disappeared earlier in the movie. But at this point, McHenry is just looking to get out of town for the holiday, but she can't leave right away because she can't find her cat. So while looking for that little furball, she hears his meows coming from the attic. And when she goes up to find him, not only does she find Claire's suffocated body, but she also finds a hook to the face courtesy of Billy. Now, in a movie that features some pretty simple and straightforward kills, this is probably the most outlandish. I mean, Billy doesn't need to kill her with a hook, but why the hell not? And come to think about it, what would a hook like that be doing up there to begin with, actually? But I mean, I love it. It's a pure campy kill that is equal parts creative and a sick sort of funny.
God damn it, Claude, you little prick.
Coming in at number 2 is the killing of Claire.
Who is that?
So Claire here is a newbie at the sorority, and she and her other sisters are chillaxing at their chapter Christmas party, when the festivities are interrupted by Billy, who is just trying to spread some holiday cheer.
Let me lick it. Lick it.
You fucking creep.
I'm going to kill you.
Anyways, the phone call has left all the girls, including Claire, pretty shaken up. Well, all except Lois Lane here, who thinks this whole thing is a lark. Well, not wanting to partake in any more tomfoolery for the evening, Claire retreats back up to her room where she starts packing her clothes for her trip home for Christmas vacation. But her stupid victim senses start tingling as she senses she may not be alone in her room. So she goes to her closet where she thinks someone is hiding, and wouldn't you know who won the pony? So after Billy suffocates her, he takes her body back up to his super secret clubhouse, where he talks and plays with her or something. Now this is arguably the most iconic kill and image of the movie, as it's used in almost all the promotional material. I mean shit, even I've used it twice as well. Now the kill itself is not elaborate, and my one knock on it is that Claire is pretty stupid. If you think someone is hiding in your closet and you aren't sure who it is, and you might be just a little scared, just don't go near it. Problem solved. But on the flip side of that, I do like the way it's all drawn out. It really builds up the suspense before Billy jumps out. But beyond all that, the lingering shots of Claire throughout the movie, with the bag over her head just sitting in the attic, it all just piles on the creep factor. I don't know, it's just something about those shots, it just makes my skin crawl. So that means the kill coming in at number 1 is the killing of Barb.
It's me, Billy.
So Barb, aka Lois Lane, has been feeling pretty good throughout this entire movie, as anytime we see her, she's partaking in the indulgence of some premium adult beverages. Anywho, after a night where she gets a little extra blitzed and explains her finer points of turtle sex to Claire's uptight father, she decides to go to bed to sleep off the bender she was just on. But Billy sneaks into her room and grabs a glass unicorn from somewhere, and when Barb wakes up, she finds Billy straddling her, but before she can react, he starts stabbing her to death. But her cries and screams aren't being heard by Jess downstairs, because that's all being drowned out by the Christmas carolers that she's listening to at the front door. Now this kill is the best kill for me because, number 1, it's another creative choice of weapon to use. I mean, he could have easily just used a knife, but there is something more savage about using a glass unicorn of all things. Number 2, I just love the way it's all shot. It's very artistic, and the only shot of Billy we get in this whole movie is a creepy one. I mean, I love that lighting across his eyes, but also the use of those camera shots and the slow-mo. It's just all beautifully crafted. And finally, number 3, it's the juxtaposition of her being killed against the carolers singing Christmas carols downstairs. It gives the scene a soothing yet creepy soundtrack, and I love it, and that's why it's number 1. Well, there you have it. That was my ranking of these kills in this movie based off of nothing but my own personal preference. And please, if you did like the video, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't like the video, well, go make one of your own and GTFO.